Hi guys, welcome to the MDPEBBLE podcast number 5, I think. I am
Right?
MDP,
I don't know. And I'm Pebble.
and
And I
today
am.
we are talking about motivation because I think it's something that is very relatable in this moment, considering we've gone back to school, which really sucks.
It's great. What do you mean?
How do you find motivation, Pebble?
Good. Good question. Yeah. That's a. Um. No, I'm joking. I struggle a lot with motivation, to be honest. Especially, I think I have a lot this year, but just because we're in such a weird time,
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
hard. It's hard for a lot of people, especially young people like us, because all these adults have been like, "Oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, focus on your future, got to think about uni and all that." But it's hard for us because we can't see like where we're going.
Especially with like the sudden change. We've been used to being at home by now, and then suddenly we get this news we have to come back, and it's just like the
But
moment I was stepped into that building, I was like, hell nah, this is not my cup of tea.
it's nobody's cup of tea.
Sadly. Motivation.
Unfortunately, we just have to push through.
That's true. Motivation. Uh, for me to get motivated, I have to have a set goal. Like, oh, if I do this, that's gonna happen, you know? If I don't do it, what will happen if I don't do it? For example, art homework, if I don't do it, Miss K will be mad. And she'll have a go at us for not doing the work.
I think, unfortunately, a lot of motivation when you're in secondary school comes from fear. Or is
That's
that just
true.
me?
That's true. Yeah.
Like you'll be like, I'm only doing this because I don't want to get told off, rather than like I'm doing it because
Yeah,
I
pretty
couldn't wait to
much.
do this piece of homework.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Until you reach the point where you just stop caring.
That's true. That's true. What about procrastination? How often do you
Ooh,
procrastinate?
ooh, I'm a master at that. If you want an
Same.
expert, I'm right here. I do it every single day.
In some aspects, I'd say you are more motivated than I am. Like, literally last night we were chatting, you were like, I don't want to draw this. And I was like, then don't draw. And you're like, but I want to. And I was like,
I think I'm just like, I don't know. You just give up a lot. But maybe we're just two kinds of different people, because I like finding like solutions to problems, and you like sort of restarting
restart, yeah.
with like a fresh head, because that's just better for you to work with. But I don't mind erasing a line and doing it 50 more times. I can do that.
Yeah, I'm just like, nah, not. Like, leave that line alone, start the whole page again. Worth the pain. I've literally tried to do some fan art for someone last night. I hated the way I coloured it, so I'm just gonna restart the whole last thing at some point. Because I dislike it.
I can't imagine doing that. I couldn't just like restart something. I just work on the one thing.
The amount of drawings I've wasted by now, but trust the process doesn't really work for me.
Can we have a video where MDP exposes her old art, please?
No. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future.
They want to see it. I know they do.
We should we should talk about old art at some point.
Oh god. That would actually be a really good one, because we could talk about progression and like
That's true.
seeing yourself grow as an artist. Because I know a lot of people, especially in the digital space, because people only post their most polished pieces of work. So if you're just starting out and you see someone post something amazing on Instagram, and you'll be like, oh, I can never do that. You try drawing something and it doesn't instantly look like the thing that you want it to be, then people just give up. But no, like, you have to be bad to get better. That's just how
That's
it
true.
works.
I remember my very first digital drawing I did with a mouse. It was certainly very cringe.
First ever digital drawing I did was the one that we did in that lesson at school.
The papyrus?
Mm-hmm.
Solid. I think mine was a Temmie. You can tell we had an Undertale face.
That's so crazy to think back on. And now I'm sat here with my iPad, doodling away.
Like,
that's crazy.
You wouldn't think this much time went by. It literally feels like it happened a year ago, maybe 2. But no, it's happened like 5 years ago.
We were so young and tiny.
Cute.
That's crazy.
Cute. Motivation. I mean, I think to motivate myself, I need to play music. That's what puts me in a good mood, you know? Without music, I can't really function.
I think music helps a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, some people do get distracted, but for me, it helps.
Everything distracts me, so I just, deal with it.
Just deal with it, yeah. In terms of art, I procrastinate a lot, especially when I'm trying to balance out of school art and in school art.
Yeah.
It's really hard because when you're doing the PI projects that we're doing, and then you don't have an idea, but then you want to do something, but it's not even related to your course, you can't really do it. And you're trying to find the time to fit it in just to do it because you really want to do it. It's kind of hard, but you gotta deal with it. Another thing that comes into procrastination and motivation is art block. How often do you get art block?
Well, I don't know. Because a lot of the people who are like, oh, I have art block, they draw all the time. But I don't really do that. And normally I have to be working on one thing or another. And even if I don't really want to be doing it, there's no way I can't.
That's true.
So I can't, I'm not really allowed to have art block, I just don't have the time. Art block is something that I get really often. Especially in school, because I have an idea and then let's say I complete the idea, then I'm like, what next? Yeah.
Because, we can't really take breaks. You have to complete, keep publishing that constant work, whether it's research or whether it's artwork or pieces. You just have to keep going and keep going. It's like you're kind of like a working machine in a way, if you know what I mean. And because it's schoolwork, you have to keep producing something, and if you don't, you get in trouble. Another thing, you don't want it to be rushed because you want to get good grades for it. You want to show the refinement.
Man, life is hard.
I'm making it sound like art is such a bad thing.
I swear we do that in every single pod, and then we're like, oh my god, we love art so much, it's great, it's so fantastic.
That's literally me. I'm more optimistic than that, guys. Don't worry, I'm a very optimistic person.
We do love art, it's a thing. It's just very difficult.
Being in the art classroom is actually quite nice, I think. The atmosphere itself is nice, with the people that we hang out with. The teacher is really chill right now. It's just there are some downsides, but most of it links to stress, really.
I think a lot of things lead back to stress.
How do you cope with stress?
Well, let's make one more point. Especially coming from a place where we don't have the time to fully dedicate ourselves to art. We have to do other subjects as well.
Mm.
That is another reason why it can be so hard.
Mm.
I love this song. What question did you say? How do I get rid of stress?
Yes, how do you cope with it?
I don't. Honestly, sometimes just having a really, really good cry is the best thing that you
That's
can do.
true.
Crying is so good sometimes.
The amount of times we had like a development piece due. We have a group chat, by the way, on Snapchat with the whole art set, and we just cry because the deadline is the next day, and we were like, it's not finished, or it doesn't look that good, and we just start crying together. We have this friend that whenever she procrastinates, she always goes on her guitar, and she's like, yeah, I'm playing guitar and start doing my artwork, and I'm like, that's fair, that's fair. It's pretty solid. Back to art block. Do you have any like tips on how to get rid of art block?
I don't really speak on it because I haven't experienced it that well. Because normally the stuff I'm doing at the moment is either art for school or art for one of the art challenges, and then I've got a brief and something to work towards. It's weird.
I mean, when I have art block, I just have a blank mind and I just don't draw until I have like the motivation to draw. Like when I first got my graphic tablet, I think I only drew like once a month, maybe less. So I think I've got. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think it happens a lot to people who start with something new, like a new software, because they're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't use it as well, and then they're like, that's it, I'm never gonna do it again.
Me, in a nutshell, pretty much. I've got this new drawing program, and I don't know how to use it. I got frustrated last night. Like, I know it's a good program, but I just don't know how to use it yet.
Oh my god, I've just thought of something. Art and gaming, they're the same. Everyone rage quits.
Everyone rage quits, that's true.
I'm so big brain.
But while gaming, you meet scary people. And they shout at you and swear at you if you do something wrong.
That is one thing. The art community, all the people that I've met so far, are very lovely. The gaming community is kind of scary.
You see, within the art community there are some dramas, like tracing and all that stuff, but it's not as heard of as gaming drama. You know? I think the art community is more of a happy place. Like a little cozy corner where you get to talk to people, share art, get advice, compliment each other. It's just fuzzy and warm and nice. That's how I see it.
Shout out to people. If you post other people's art and say it's yours, we don't like you. Get out.
Do not claim someone else's art as your own, because that's really rude, that's mean. Think about how much effort that person put into their work, and then just someone with one click reposts it and says it's their work.
Not cool, bro. Not cool.
It's very sad, actually.
I know what is going on with this drawing right now. See, this is the thing. I don't really like it, but I'm still carrying on with it.
You're motivated.
I think I just have a problem with my face. Also, maybe I could put the time lapse in the video. I'll send you it. But still.
Okay.
I don't know what is going on. I literally have the most time-consuming colouring technique. It's ridiculous. I swear, there's probably like a much better way I could be doing it, but I just don't. Because I like to make my life difficult.
To be honest, as long as you're enjoying it, and as long as you trust the process, it's fine.
Ooh, trust the process.
Trust the process, guys, even though I don't trust it.
Trust, sometimes give up, but always trust.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think we should just say this though, it is okay to give up on something.
That's true, yeah.
If it's just not going how you want it to, and all it's doing is making you angry, just start something new.
I agree.
Because sometimes, you know, you can take the mistakes that you're making and treat them like a learning process and be like, okay, well that didn't work, so maybe I can try this. But sometimes if you're just trying to do it for fun, you don't want to do that. You just want it to turn out alright, so just do something else.
That's true. Yeah.
No one's going to hate you for it.
No one's going to hate you.
They'll probably understand.
That's true, yeah. I agree. See, with this current challenge that we're working on, I'm finding it hard to find the motivation to do it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm overloaded with schoolwork at the moment.
I don't really know what we're supposed to be doing because I haven't actually seen the thing that this challenge is based on.
But
So
to be
I'm
honest,
just kind of...
you don't really need to know what the thing is. Because it's supposed
People going...
Yes?
I was reading everyone else on the chat though, they're going so in depth about, you know, their character design and all the quirks and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm just drawing a girl and then I'm going to write some stuff, I don't know.
Just make it up so it fits.
Literally. But you know what? It is what it is. Sometimes it just be like that.
You see, this is going to be hard for me because character design is something I'm very new to. It's not something that I can't do well. I mean, my very first character design I've done was like 2 weeks ago. Was that 2 weeks ago? Something like that. And it actually didn't turn out the way that I hoped it did.
Mm-hmm.
But I just rolled with it. Hopefully I'll get better at character design because that would be very cool.
I believe in you. You got this. Oh, that is 2. Nope.
To motivate ourselves right now in this moment, what are your goals in art? Like, what do you want to achieve?
I just want to get better and have a consistent style. Like, that's one thing that
yeah.
we still don't have. Well, it's you do, but I don't think I do yet.
I don't. But...
Thing is, like, this is what we always say.
That's true.
Because I can always see something that's done by you and know that it was done by you.
Which is...
Because you always use the set... Oh, was that Craig? Or the music bot?
Music bot, don't worry about it.
Okay. I always see your brushstrokes and I'm like, okay, MDP's done this. It's so apparent to me, but you never ever see it unless you're just being annoying and saying that you don't really actually do.
I actually don't. I think that every single piece I do is very different.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Like, I look back at my Instagram feed sometimes and I'm like, this is so inconsistent. This is so... What is this?
It might be inconsistent, but it also shows your growth.
I guess.
Do you see like a style in my work?
I do.
Because I don't think I have anything particular yet. What do you see? Because I'm curious to know.
The way I see it, it's kind of like if you had a lino design, but in digital. That's the way I see your work, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's better because with a lino you get these messy marks. But yours is like perfect. It's like the lines, it's great, the colouring is great, nothing's out of the edge.
I think I do really like colour. I use a lot of colour. And textures as well. I love texture
brushes. Well,
brushes.
about colour, you use light colours. Not like grungy navies, maroons. You go for like pinks, blues, greens, browns. Which is very cute. It's very cute.
I'm just adorable.
Plus the line work is very simple, but when it's like assembled together, it looks so nice. It's
Honestly,
so nice.
that's one thing that I don't understand, because I put so much detail into my work, and then when you actually look at it, it looks like there's barely anything. Like the Aphrodite one. There are so many layers in that. And then when I looked at it the other day, I was like, it literally looks like so simple. I just don't get it.
That's true, but the why does it look good? The line work is really good, but it's not like line work is going to take you 5 minutes to do. To do like precise, really good line work, it takes you an hour, probably more. So even though if it does look simplistical, there is a lot of effort and thought put into it. Like the process itself is very lengthy, and as you said, it might look simple, but the outcome is still amazing. The way you draw, nobody else could do that, because it's very unique and very you know?
That was inspiration.
You're welcome.
My iPad has 2%, and you should charge it.
That's not good.
That's the only problem about it is that it doesn't have a USB charger. It's got the new USB-C, I think it is.
Oh.
So I can't plug it into my computer, but the cable isn't long enough.
So it's like an Android one.
It's the one that's like, I don't know. I think so.
Oh, that's exciting.
Because they're supposed to be using it for like everything now, aren't they?
That's true.
It's kind of crazy. I need a better eraser. Oh, why was I using that one? God knows. God knows, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. That's better.
Okay, so we've already asked you what you want to achieve. What are you proud of? What have you already achieved that you've been like, wow, that has changed. I'm very happy that it's changed that way and that it's like heading towards this way.
I think I have improved a lot, especially in this last sort of like few months. I think I've gotten more adventurous. I like exploring brushes and stuff while I'm working. Every time I draw, I try something new, and I think that's really good. I'm just happy to see the progression that I've made, to be honest.
That's true, yeah.
Seeing as like I only probably started digital drawing in like March last year in lockdown. It's kind of cool. What about you?
I think I'm still not where I want to be. I'm like nowhere near where I want to be. But
where do you want to be?
I want to be able to do like these crazy character designs and like you know where people do these like amazing illustrations where it's like a fight scene and it looks like it's from a video game or something. That's kind of what I aspire to draw like, but for now I'm just sticking to faces.
You can do it, BB. I believe in you.
But I will admit I have improved quite a lot.
Insert your redraw that you did. Which I love, by the way. It's so cute. I want to draw her. Please can I draw her?
Please draw her. I'd love it. Like, comparing to like how much I struggled back then with the mouse, and then to see that there are certain parts of when I'm drawing are easier because it's like muscle memory, you know? The more you draw something, the more you get it, in a way. So that's really cool. I like acknowledging the fact that it's a bit easier for me. It makes me a little bit proud, but still nowhere near where I want to be. But that doesn't mean I won't improve in the future. Hopefully I do. Like, I don't want to be stuck in the same place.
You've literally got like your whole life to carry on drawing and working.
That's very true.
Man, I love digital art.
But I must admit, I haven't...
No, my iPad just died.
Oh no.
Guys, I'm sad.
But I must admit, because I've been like so involved with digital art right now, I haven't had the time to do traditional art as much as I probably wished I did. Which is very sad. I don't know,
because I still heavily love both, and I think I'm able to separate them in a really good way, because for me, all the traditional art that I do is the stuff that I'm not going to say the most passionate about, but it means a bit more to me, because that's the direction I want to go in my life, and I want to talk about things with my art. But digital art is really fun and it's really fulfilling. I get a lot out of doing it because it's just fun to explore with no boundaries.
That's true.
But I also love making sculptures because they are very fun. Travel's just staring at me right now.
You see, I'm scared that if I don't do enough traditional art, I'll forget how to draw. I have like this constant fear at the back of my head. That's why I try to draw every now and then when I have the possibility. I mean, I do doodle in class, like in sociology. When we have a politics lesson, I just start doodling.
I think I can't sketch digitally. I don't know why. I just can't do it. I have to do it traditionally, so I'll do my sketches, my ideas on paper with a normal pen, and then I'll take a photo of it and then transfer it over and do the line work digitally, because I just can't wrap my head around sketching digitally. It doesn't work. I don't understand how people can use a paintbrush and do a sketch in grey and then draw the anatomy and it looks fine, because I'll do the sketch and it looks fine, and then I'll do the line art over the top. I take off the bottom layer with the sketch on it, and the face is all the proportions look so weird. I just can't do it. I don't know why.
That's what I get as well. But personally, I prefer sketching on the tablet, just doing everything digitally in one go. The reason behind it is because I draw it. The way I draw it traditionally is from a different perspective, from when you draw on the tablet. And then when I take the photo, transfer it on my tablet, and the perspective just doesn't look right, in my opinion, Because I think it depends what perspective you're drawing from as well. Because my graphic tablet is standing up, it's literally facing me, so it's like drawing on a whiteboard.
Yeah. I could not do that. I can't imagine holding my hand out in front of me and doing that. It would just feel so weird.
It's gotten to the point I'm used to it now. And yeah, funny thing, I used to have a drawing pad which I gave to Pebble, and every now and then I use it. I borrow it from her in class, and it's so hard for me to draw on it now. It's different.
Just shows you how used to it you get with your software, because I couldn't imagine myself using Paint Tool Sai or something like that. I remember using it at your house once and I was like, this is so confusing, this is the most weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, I cannot wrap my head around this. And then if you try and use mine, you're like, oh, I don't like this. Where's the blending tool? I don't like it.
That's true.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm going through right now though. I've got Clip Studio Paint, don't know how to use that. We're
both doing it, aren't we? Because I've just got Procreate and I'm trying to figure out how to use that, because I've been used to using Autodesk Sketchbook for about a year now. And don't get me wrong, I probably will download Sketchbook as well, because I really love it as a software. It's really, really good. If you're starting out in digital art, recommendations of Pebble. If you're starting out in digital art, Autodesk is really, really good. And
Autodesk is free, isn't it?
Yeah, it's free, and you get a load of brushes, and it's got animation software on it as well. It's good. It's really good to get yourself started off on, and I learned a lot on it. But what did you use? You used Paint Tool Sai.
I used Paint Tool Sai, but I used something different before I got Paint Tool Sai. I can't remember what it was. It was one of these website drawing apps. So you couldn't download it. It had to be on the website. So let's say your laptop crashed, you just wouldn't have the drawing.
I remember, because I bought an iPad for myself a good few years ago, and I got Ibis Paint X on that.
Yeah.
and I used to draw with my finger on that for quite a while, and then I got a MacBook, and I got Sketchbook on there when MDP gave me her little drawing pad, and that's where I started really, really getting into it. And now I've just bought myself an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil. Unboxing coming soon. But I'm now getting used to drawing on that. It's kind of crazy. I never thought I would ever be like doing digital art. If you asked me like a couple of years ago, but here we are.
I mean, I can't remember what got me into digital art. I think it's the animation memes I used to watch. Yes, I know, I am very cringe, but I used to watch animation memes. And I was like...
Expose your old channel, do it now.
No. And you see, I think I was more interested in the animation part rather than the drawing part. Because I really wanted to do what people were doing online. I was like, yes, I want to draw a furry dancing to music. But to be honest, I'm going to be brutally honest, it wasn't even animation. It was just like, let's say 3 frames, and they were just on repeat. They were being looped. It didn't even look like a smooth animation.
It's a start though.
I haven't animated for years now.
I've done a couple.
I might give it another try.
I actually really enjoy it. Because you draw something and then you can watch it back and you get instant results. It's great. And like even if it's something really simple, when I did the little shroomish one, like I was so proud of it. And all he did was just like I just animated like one step cycle, and that was it.
Because the Clip Studio Paint that I have now, it has the option to animate. It's got an animation option, which is really cool, I think.
Yeah, Procreate does as well, but it's really weird because you can only have one layer, and like every layer on the drawing is a new frame of the animation. It's really, really weird. I was doing it last night and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. This is confusing.
Yeah, I've just turned on Procreate right now. So basically the options I've got is use of work. I've got illustration, comic, where it's like a really long ass page, a different type of comic, and animation. Custom. And then I'm looking at the animation page. Frame rate, 30 frames per second. That's speedy, isn't it?
I think on Procreate, you don't choose the frames per second when you do it. You can control it afterwards. So I was like, I'd finished in my little animation and I was like scrolling back and forward, and you can either make it really slow or really, really fast. It was so weird.
Oh. What frame rate would you use?
Well, it could go up to like 60 frames a second, and I was like, hun, what the hell? I think when I did my shroomish one, I had about 24 frames a second. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I don't know how this works. I'll figure it out at some point.
I can't believe I should draw with my finger on my iPad. What was I thinking? When I went on my iPad the other day and I looked at all the drawings that I did, they were so bad. I was like, what is this? It's awful. But back in the day, I was like, I've just done this and I'm so proud of it. It's weird.
Yeah, I get you.
Just trying to figure out the animation software right now.
Same. Don't know what's going on. It's okay.
Oh,
I'll watch what's it called? I'll watch
A tutorial?
Yes. My mind's gone blank.
To be fair though, tutorials are so good, but I don't watch them.
Why do you not watch them?
I don't know, I don't like people telling me what to do. I just don't.
I guess...
I think I learn more from doing something and experiencing myself and seeing what happens when I do it than having someone explain it to me.
But to be honest, thanks to tutorials, I think that's how I've improved. Like, I've been looking at how people colour, how do they do it so it makes sense, so it looks good. Yeah, I think they helped me quite a lot. I haven't watched many, but it did help me get, like, my head around a few things, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Maybe I should start watching some. Maybe I shouldn't. I get bored of YouTubers really, really quickly. I'll be obsessed with them for like a week and I'll be like, I'm never watching this person again. Unless it's Makara Chewers. I love her so much. Everyone go subscribe to her. She is the best. I want to be her so bad, but literally, I get so bored of people. I don't know. It's just weird.
What do you think is the hardest thing about art for you? That's such an open question. That's actually so hard.
I'm thinking. I think either not knowing what to do, doing something and then not knowing where to go with it afterwards, or I get worried a lot that like what I'm doing is boring, or that someone's already done it and I'm not being original.
That's true. You always want to have this sense of originality, don't you? And then...
especially when you're doing like school art, because this like the examiner looked at it and they were like, this is literally a copy of like so-and-so's famous art piece. I'd be like, I didn't know, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think if something's really original and looks good, you have this sense of acceptance and approval. Because it's something that you've came up with and it's something that you've done. So then you get this sense of pride, which is certainly not a bad thing. Yeah. What do you like the most about digital art?
It's just fun. Like, I can literally do whatever I want. If I don't like it, I can just save the file, turn off my laptop, be done with it.
That's what I do. Yeah,
it's just like, and you can take it anywhere. Like, I can just shove my iPad in my bag, go on a day out, sit on a train or something, doing drawing. Well, that would be really hard. Can you imagine being on a moving train and trying to get smooth line work and it's like,
yeah, that would be hard. That would be hard.
I'd only do colouring on a chain, probably, because it doesn't really matter. You can just blend it if you make a smudge somewhere. I can't wait until, like, coffee shops are open. We can, like, go to a coffee shop, just sit there, and do some drawing or something.
What I enjoy the most about digital art, I think, is the sketching process.
Really?
Yeah. I get frustrated over it, but when I finish it, I feel so satisfied.
How long do you spend on sketching? Because I literally spend about 2 minutes.
I feel like my sketch takes the longest out of anything I do.
To me, that is so wild. Because if there's like, do you perfect all the anatomy and stuff in the sketch? Because if I do something wrong in this, I don't do that. I'll just make a bolder line and I'll be like, okay. And then once I've traced over it on thingy, I'll just turn off a layer and then I'll make the adjustments to the actual line work on the thing.
Because I want my sketch to be perfect so that I won't have any troubles with the line work. Because I hate line work.
Isn't the point of a sketch for it to not be perfect?
Well, it still looks like crappy. Like, there's a difference between a sketch and line art, but
That's so wild. I can't. No. I think my favourite part is just adding all the little. Well, I already said what my favourite part is, but my other favourite part is just like adding all the little details at the end.
Yes.
And then looking at the final product and being like, okay, it's done now. I can breathe again. I can sleep like a normal human. I can go out in the sun and experience.
The next day starts a new
vitamin
project.
D. Literally.
Cries
I don't know.
again.
It's just it's so wild. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. What's your favourite part about drawing traditionally? Or do you just not really like drawing traditionally?
I do, but I don't draw like the same way that I do digitally.
Yeah.
Like with digitally art? I can't speak. With digital, I draw like actual things, like I draw people. With traditional, I tend to do a lot more sort of like loose work, abstracted, like fragmented drawings.
Yeah.
Just recordings and stuff like that because it's a quicker process. So I'm not really sure. I did used to do like realistic drawings. Maybe we can put a couple of pictures in. I've done a couple of sort of realism ones. And I used to really like doing them. Now that I look back on them, I obviously see quite a few issues. Like, I didn't put much contrast and stuff because I used to use like one single pencil. Can you imagine? How tragic is that? But I used to really enjoy doing that.
Traditionally, I think I enjoy drawing animals the most.
See, I can't. I've tried and I'll be like, this looks awful, and then I just stop. I could never do it.
But I do struggle drawing animals digitally, actually. The first time I drew an animal was my tortoise, digitally, and I was like, oh, this is actually quite hard. It's not the same as traditional drawing.
No, but it was so good, though.
Thank you. Took 3 weeks.
I was like, that's crazy. It was so good.
Yeah, with especially pencil drawings, I can't do crayons, colouring. No, that's
oh my god, we should do like a crayon drawing challenge.
No, please.
You know when you were little and you'd get like a box of 100 Crayola crayons, it was like the best day of your life. Yes, please.
I was more of the marker kid. I used markers.
Oh, alright. Bougie.
Not really. It was those, you know, these cheap art sets where it was like this massive tray, and then you'd open it, and then you'd have these really bad watercolours.
When you'd get them for like your birthday or something when you were little.
And that skanky paintbrush with plastic bristles.
And it was always like, it wasn't even tapered at the end, it was just like chopped off.
Yes, it was so bad.
The worst thing.
The oil
pastels. That's how every artist begins their career, with one of them.
Pretty much, yeah. I think I had a Barbie one. Life was great.
It is great.
But I wasn't allowed to use scissors back then, so whenever I watched Mr. Maker, I couldn't do what Mr. Maker did, which was sad. Well,
I love Mr. Maker.
The show was so cool, but like, I'm sure that most of things that they did in the show, kids didn't do because you just didn't have the resources. The amount of crafts and like paper they must have wasted just to record a show. That's so sad.
It's so great. It's so good though.
That's true.
Man, I miss being little.
Same.
That's crazy.
What were you like as a child? What kind of child were you?
Oh god, do we really want to go into that? I was always like the arty one. Art and music and all that. I was really quiet. I was very, very shy when I was little. I didn't have any friends until like year 2 because I was like, I had to tell the teacher who I wanted to be friends with, and then she sat me next to them in class and she was like, you need to be friends with her. And I was like, hi. And then, yeah. But I won a trophy at like the year 6 Leavers Awards for music. because I was always like the one that would run around singing everywhere. I used to draw. I've been looking for this one drawing that I did in primary school for like years now, and I think we must have accidentally thrown it out, and I was so
Oh
sad.
no.
Because we did a project in art in year 5. Do you remember when you were in primary school and you get the little tiny mirrors to do symmetry with in maths?
Yes.
They gave us those, and they were like, look in the mirror and do a self-portrait. And we were all like, okay.
See, instead of doing a self-portrait, what we did, we drew the person in front of us.
Yeah, I don't think we ever did that. The only art lessons I remember doing is in year 3. We drew apples, except me and my bestie got a banana as well because we were the best artists in the class and they wanted to challenge us, and I was like, okay. And then doing the self-portraits in year 5. And then in year 6 we made a Greek phone case. That was kind of weird. It was kind of wacky, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's all I remember doing.
I still feel bad for that kid that I drew. His name was Alex, and he was like, draw me well, yeah? And I was like, yeah, I'll do my best.
Did you butcher him?
Yes, but he butchered me as well, so it was okay.
Oh, yikes.
Oh, what year was it? Year 3, I think?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was great.
I walked into assembly, right, and all the year 6s were like talking to me, but I couldn't understand what they were saying. And then at the end of the assembly, they started talking to me again, and they were like, "Oh my god, the drawing was so good!" And I realised that my teachers had shown my drawing to the class above me, and like just hadn't told me about it. And I was like,
What was that?
In year 6.
Oh.
Like when we did the self-portrait ones, they just went and showed them, and I was like, "Why did you do that?" I was like, "Thanks, I guess." That's kind of cool. What is she doing?
I was a weird kid in primary school.
Same.
And a very quiet one. I didn't have that many friends. Me saying I had no friends would be a lie. I'm not gonna lie. I did have a few. But it was more like you stick to that one friend consistently. So you only really had one friend, and then every now and then you'd play with other kids. But she moved in like year 4, so I was really sad about that.
That is very, very sad.
And then I got put into a languages club, just so that foreign kids could make friends with other foreign kids. That's actually so sad, isn't it? That's so sad. And then I met some friends. That's where I met my ex-boyfriend. In year 5, I had a boyfriend.
Oh, go you!
Good times.
I had a boyfriend in year 6. He dumped me by telling my friend to tell me that I was dumped when we were in year 7 and we'd gone to different schools. And he told her at a school disco, and she came into school the next day and she was like, "He doesn't want to be your boyfriend anymore." And I was like, "Oh."
That's funny.
It's very funny.
So yeah, I didn't have that many friends, but I did have a childhood friend. She wasn't really the nicest.
Same here.
She'd take my things.
Sure.
But I still played with her because we kind of were brought up together. I think when I moved to my current house, I was like a few months old. She was already 1 year old. So we hung out for a really long while. So like almost 16, 17 years. So yeah. But we don't talk to this day that much. We see each other on the road and say hi. But yeah. Oh, I was a very weird kid. I just remembered. I used to have imaginary friends.
I did too. Her name was Sophia.
Not primary school, don't worry guys. It was like when I was really little. So I wasn't that spastic. Don't be worried.
I had a friend called Sophia, I think. Or Olivia. And then she had a friend called... I can't remember which way around they were, but they were called Sophia and Olivia. And I used to be like, "Oh my god, hi! Do you want to go play on the trampoline?" I was just scrolling through Twitter right now, and there's an art tag going on at the moment called under 5'3" artists, and all the people who are really short are like posting their art.
You wouldn't be able to join that.
Imagine being small. You guys are cringe.
What? Don't be mean to the
I'm
small
joking.
people.
I love and appreciate all the small people. This art is so good. God damn.
Small people are cute.
Oh, that reminds me of Rio's art. I'll send you a screenshot.
Okay.
What am I doing here? Bro, it takes so long to send. Look, doesn't that remind you of what Rio does?
Yeah, a little bit. I see it.
It's kind of crazy.
Rio has different line work though.
I love Rio's style, it's so cute.
I know. It's really good.
Let's insert picture here.
First we have to ask. You can't just insert someone's photo.
That's a good point.
We will ask Rio. If Rio says no, that's okay.
Shout out to Rio.
Shout out to Rio.
Cool.
Woo!
Tell you what, I'll message them right now.
Yes.
What else should we talk about? We talked about it quite a while today. I can't remember what time we started.
We're like 53 minutes in. So that's
love that.
That's pretty solid, not gonna lie. We ended up drifting to like childhood, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys get to know us a bit more, which is very cool, very nice. Hopefully you feel comfortable with your cup of tea, or when you're drawing, or when you're walking, running, anything. That's kind of the point of podcasts, really. It's just, it feels nice, comfortable, while you're doing things that you're doing. I mean, you don't even have to do anything. You can just lie in bed and sleep to us.
We start talking, instantly asleep. Is that good or bad? Who knows?
Both. So yeah, thank you for listening.
If you enjoyed this one.
If there's any topics you'd like us to cover, please do share. We'd like to know. Because I feel like at some point we are going to run out of ideas.
It's alright, we can do something.
I mean, for now, we have a list of things to do, so it's not like we're completely disorganized. We have a few plans.
Yeah. We actually have some pretty swaggy ideas.
Yeah. Some potential people coming on, chatting with us, which is exciting.
We've got a couple of bonus videos as well.
Yes. A few separate videos as well, which is very cool. Yeah.
Just excited to be able to share stuff with everyone.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next podcast.
See you next time. Bye bye.